G'day and welcome to the lower bracket final between Polaris Esports and T1 at the Southeast Asian regional qualifiers for TI11. So let's just go through quickly while the initial bans and picks come out. The situation for these two teams. The winner will go through the grand final and get a shot at qualifying directly to TI. The positive news for all three teams remaining, Polaris, T1 and Talon, who are awaiting the winner of this series, is that they will be progressing in some form or another. They will go on to the last chance qualifier, so the loser of this series plus the loser of the grand final will both progress to the last chance qualifier, and two teams from that last chance qualifier will advance. Now, admittedly, that last chance qualifier is starting to look pretty stacked with the teams that have made it to that event. But nevertheless, these teams are progressing. But you want to secure it. You want to make sure that you just get straight into TI. No more qualifiers, no more mucking around, no more chances being taken. Just get your spot in that tournament. And that's what both these teams are trying to achieve today. So Polaris coming to this series did beat RSG. T1, they beat RSG 2-0. T1 lost 2-0 to Talon in the upper bracket final yesterday. So that's how both teams have arrived at this situation. Initial bans coming out: Marcy and Enigma from Polaris. T1 removed Chen and Bat. So strong lockdown being taken out in the first lot of bans, as well as the initiation ability from Marcy. Marcy's rebound stun is so strong. I mean, they switched it so the dispose was no longer the stun and the rebound is. And that seems, in a way, even stronger because you have this long range ability to initiate without blink dagger now. You don't even need the blink on the Marcy. It used to be get the blink, get the ether, and just dispose someone back and stun them up. But not anymore. You just have that innately with the rebound. And so that one will be banned out, and T1 have been utilizing the Marcy quite a lot. First pick for T1 is the Undying. Now, more and more we are seeing the rise of the core Undying. T1 have played it, Polaris have played it, so both teams will be aware that this Undying may be support, but would also be switched into the core role. I think T1 are the only one who played it as a POS 1. Polaris have played it as the offlane, Force played it yesterday. But Ana for T1 did pick it up. Primal Beast from Polaris as a second pick. So strong opening there with the Death Prophet, good push, good sustain, fairly good laner, and then just that absolute chaos and control and damage in the team fight with the Primal Beast. The timing around the Primal Beast has a couple of points. There's the post laning phase when the Primal Beast has the 1 or 2 points in the onslaught and the trample maxed out with the pulverize, and if that beast really catches anyone, it's not looking good for trying to escape that gank. Particularly when the map is still pretty spread out, people are trying to get their levels. Rotations aren't going to happen that quickly. But then the second large timing for the Primal Beast is the BKB. You know, there is a point, there'll be some team fights post laning phase, but before that BKB, where T1 have the ability to lock down that Primal Beast. They can't get full value out of the trample or the pulverize. But once the BKB comes out, unless there's something that pierces that spell immunity, Primal Beast is just free to roam the fight, get off all their spells, and do mass damage. And it's just causes chaos in the fight. Morphling is grabbed from T1. Now, Morphling has been played by Ana or by Topson so far in the series. I want to say more by Topson across their games compared to Ana. I think Ana's played in the safe lane maybe once, definitely once, maybe twice, but Topson has played it from the mid, 2 or 3, maybe even 4 times. Not 100% sure about those stats, but 99% of stats are made up. Second round of bans will be the Beastmaster and the Viper for Polaris. So still that heavy single target lockdown. The Beast and Bat are just prioritized in these bans. Viper was picked by Buku yesterday. Didn't do very well. Got quite a lot of free farm, and then the impact was fairly minimal But if you're banning the Viper, you're showing that potentially you're going to have some more strength cores. Bristleback comes to mind, Pudge comes to mind. Or those cores that rely heavily on the passive, Spectre. Timbersaw, although Timbersaw would be odd if you already have the Death Prophet. Trying to think, Lelouch could play at mid, the Death Prophet, but we've seen it more often in the off lane. The Force will be picking that one up. Puck, AA, and Faceless Void banned on the side of T1. They are not taking chances here. The AA Faceless Void combo has shown to be incredibly strong. The just amount of damage you can come out, and there's no counterplay to that. You get chronoed, Avenge Swap, Pudge Hook, that's about it. And you get the AA Blast up on top of you. Even if you survive the chrono, you're not going to survive for very long. The damage will be enough at some point. Even if you pop a BKB, BKB Satanic, AA just doesn't care. The Satanic's not going to do anything. Once that Ice Blast comes out. And the W is so obnoxious. Puck, wheel control, good setup for chrono, and T1 may be having some flashbacks of Puck yesterday in the upper bracket final where they are outplayed pretty severely by Talon with that Puck, so not wanting to have the same experience today. Scarith Mage will be the pickup from Polaris. So generally you pick Scarith Mage when you have something that is guaranteed lockdown. So far what I'm seeing in the draft is the Pulverize from the Beast. But normally you see it with a Void or with a Legion Commander, maybe a DK. DK is in the pool. It could be a Death Prophet mid and DK offlane. You link those two up. But there's already a Primal Beast. It's hard. There could be a Primal Beast support. It's sort of shown you really do want to get value out of this Mystic Flare with the Scarith Mage. It's a bit of a wasted pick if you don't have something that will guarantee that damage, because it's an insane amount of burst. Primal Beast could be run... yeah, like 4 Death Prophet mid. They could still be looking for an offlane. Technically, Scarith Mage 5. Dazzle and Clockwork will be the picks from T1. And that sort of shows that I think the Undying is core. Yeah, Dazzle, definitely a support. Clockwork has been run as a support quite a lot rather than a core, because you don't need to run Clockwork as a core. You can get this pretty much the same value out of Clock from the 4 position as you can from the 3. Yeah, you might get a BKB a little bit earlier, get the rocket, the jetpack to scout out and move around. But even as a 4 position, you should be able to get some decent items online.
5 seconds remaining.
Get a little bit of farm priority. Question is here, is this a Cuckoo Undying or a Ana Undying? Axe with Polaris. So there's the lockdown that we wanted to see with the Scarith Mage. So we've got the Pulverize plus the Axe Call, both very good at holding an enemy in place so that Scarith Mage can drop that ulti on top and get the follow-up damage. I wonder if the Axe Taunt is counted as a stun. I don't think it is, it's a taunt. Just thinking towards Morphling's Shard. So banning Tempo from Polaris, Nature's Prophet and Visage. And T1 will get rid of the 2 Illusion Heroes, not wanting to deal with that with the Morphlings, so Naga and EL. I think also showing this is a core Undying. You don't really want to deal with illusions as a core Undying. The last pick here, yeah, offlane, I think. I think it's a safe lane Ana Undying, mid Morphling. I think we're looking at an offlane pick. You got plenty of front line. Could just be the Thompson hero as well. Ana could be safe lane Morphling, run the Undying offlane, and it's the Thompson last pick. I'm not sure Polaris knew where this draft's going at all, because it's so open. You could still even have a Clockwork core, and Undying could be 4. You know, it's very, very flexible at this point. We'll only know once we see this last pick where they really want to head with it. I think it's their offlane. I think it's Cuckoo's hero. We did see him pick up Venno yesterday. That's still in the pool. Don't think it's particularly good against these heroes. You maybe want something to help. You've already got Dazzle. Maybe you want to go double in on the help. Maybe it's offlane Venge. With the swap, build into the Aghanim Scepter. Have some way to get a hero out of the Axe Call. Because, you know, Dazzle can't really save him. A Culling Blade will go straight through the Shallow Grave. Necrophos. Okay. Arc Warden from Polaris. My goodness, we've been given a treat. Been given a treat on these last 2 picks. So, let's see how the draft closes out. For Polaris, Natsumi will have the POS 1 Arc Warden. Force will be the offlane Axe. Xavius, 4 Skyrat. That'll leave you on the 5 Primal Beast. 5 Primal Beast, and then Death Prophet we run mid by Lelouch. For T1, this is what we want to see. It is a Thompson, Morphling, Ana on the Undying, POS 1, Whitemon and Zephyr on the supports, and that's an offlane Necrophos being played by Cuckoo. I think the Necro is a good pick. Something that can sort of frontline, but also provide a bit of damage coming out in these fights and a bit of burst.
5 seconds remaining.
You want to be able to burst this Death Prophet. So, you know, you hook in on this Death Prophet, you cog him back, you throw a Decay, and you just Reaper and hope, you know, maybe Thompson chucks down an Attribute Shift, you Reaper and hope it's enough to kill this Lelouch Death Prophet. Natsumi's going to be probably pretty hard to track down, particularly with so much cover with the Axe and Primal Beast just frontlining for this Arc Warden. There's not really a solid way to get on the Arc Warden and kill him. Clockwork would hook in, but I feel like that would just be the death of Clockwork. Clockwork might be looking for this Skywrath Mage until at least he gets a Force Staff. But it's a bit of a double-edged sword when you hook in on that Skywrath Mage, because he just drops the ulti on top of you. You want to have a Blade Mail at that point, so the Skywrath at least kills himself too. But the core Undying against an Axe, against a Primal Beast, even against Death Prophet, pretty good. Skywrath Mage has little HP and armor. So I have to go with the core Undying. I've been loving the core Undying picks, and every time I see a core Undying, it's pretty much unstoppable, assuming they don't get completely stomped in lane. Can we do predictions again, or are they broken? Oh, it's been patched. Nice. First plate, 15 denies. Where's our mid laners? Righto. So both teams moving out with the smokes. Zephyr in the lead for T1. On the opposing side, Force is just guarding this area, trying to pop a smoke. They might make it up to this high ground. Skywrath Mage is hanging out on this top side, maybe trying to get a ward down. Sentry will be placed. Sentry on the ancient camp as well. So both camps blocked out. T1 prioritizing stopping those stacks early on. They did run into the Skywrath Mage, Xavius up here, but 325 movement speed. He's not slow. Can chuck a point in the concussive shot and just walk it off pretty easily. There isn't Obs just placed right down here. Thompson chucks it on the bottom river. Unlikely to get de-warded. I love these unusual ward spots here as well. This is unlikely to get de-warded level 1. This one might. And Vision over the bottom ramp area as well. So we have the Spark Rates. Ana doesn't care at all. He walks in, double decay. We'll grab the Bounty Rune. On the top side, Zephyr is trying to commit in, but 2 against 1, the level 1 Battery Assault just doesn't really do enough. And Xavius will make him pay with the tick from the Battle Hunger as well. It's a lot of damage. Man, he just lost 2/3 health. So for the mid lane, Lelouch will be playing for Polaris on the Death Prophet lane against Thompson on the mid Morphling. In the top lane, we'll be seeing Force on the Axe, being supported by Xavius on the Scarth Mage, laning against Cuckoo of T1 and Zephyr on the Clockwork. In the bottom lane, we're seeing Ana on the position 1 Undying, laying against Natsumi on the Arc Warden. He's supported by Yao on the 5 Primal Beast, and of course Whiteman's here for T1 as well. So Ana will be looking to secure this lane as fast as he can with the Soul Ring, be able to keep that spam coming out. Unlike the Undying we saw yesterday from Polaris that had a Keeper of the Light actually with it as well, as the Curie gets sniped up in this top lane. Keeper of the Light, you just can constantly spam out those decays. You won't have unlimited meta on this lane, Ana, so here's something to keep in mind. Does need to play around a bit of a timing. Yeah, Zephyr with this level 1 battery assault can't really threaten a whole lot. Needs to get the level 2 in battery assault mid lane to the Louch. As the Siphon over onto Thompson, he takes almost a full Spirit Siphon there. He's only level 2, so just the 1 point of the attribute shift at this point takes another crit swarm to the face. Careful types of Thompson on this mid lane. Zephyr slowed down once again. Just the level 1s for the time being. Thinking about what lane is going to become pretty strong at level 2. Yeah, it's probably when the Tombstone comes out with Dazzle, with this Shadow, with the Poison Touch, you know, can deal a lot of damage and keep him within range of that Tombstone. Charge comes through, does miss. Drops the Uproar, so Whiteman just walks away from that one. 2 spells used and cuts through a tree, and a little Dazzle will wander back towards Ana. Zephyr, but again with the tick damage, he's going to take a lot here. Has 7 stick charges, so he's looking to bait maybe a couple more spells before he pops those sticks. There's another one. He's holding onto it. That Whitemon. Only level 1 though. Yao can get on top of him. Didn't go for the trample yet. So Ana will look towards the Soul Ring. Almost has it, 50 gold away, and the lane will start looking a lot better for him at that point. Gotta keep those decays being spammed out. Thompson still level 2 in waveform this mid lane. He's gonna start fighting up towards the Louch. Louch does have a bottle charge and a clarity.
Radiant's courier has been killed.
Davius, bring the damage over onto Zephyr. Has the slow, another Arcane Bolt. Cogs on the high ground will slow him down. There is ward vision here. We'll salve up and walk away, so no first blood just yet. Thompson pushing him back. Actually, he's going to go in. There's no mana on the Louch. He knows he's pretty safe in this mid lane for the time being. Still just the 1 in the attribute shift. Will go all the way down to nothing to get as most value as he can out of that regen. And 3.5 minutes, almost 4 minutes in, we still have no first blood in this game 1 between T1 and Polaris. Force has the Ring of Health. They will sustain on this lane pretty well against Cuckoo. Unless he does get caught by Zephyr, but he's playing it reasonably safe there. It is daytime, so the movements coming in from the Clockwork will be fairly telecasted. Boots sent out to Thompson, mid lane. And go in again, securing those last hits. He's really valuing getting those creeps. 23 and 7 to 19 and 4. So Thompson holding it together with this Death Prophet in a pretty challenging lane for the Morphling. Ana's 18 and 10, so 10 denies actually. That's huge. To 16 and 7 of Natsumi. And Axe has got 16 and 2 to Cuckoo's 21 and 9. So slightly favoring T1 early game in the lanes, but nothing really to speak of. And of course, with the first blood still available, there is a nice little bounty ready to be claimed. The Louch has level 3 in the Crypt Swarm. Thompson's got to be careful if he's low. Just take another one to the face. Actually, in the top lane. Force is wandering around. Cuckoo and Zephyr are on him. Battery Assault is ready along with the Cogs, and they're chasing him down. He has a TP. Creeps are on him. Zephyr, I think, might keep looking. Throws down the ward. He wants this. Actually, he's got to eat. He can't eat through. He's got nowhere to eat through. The branch plant on the deck, and Force just TPs away. Even forces the the obs on the high ground there. Great play there from Force, and he's fine. He's back in lane. No issues at all. Thompson does hit, not at 6 just yet, so Lelouch in the early level 6, but isn't that much a point really. You know, he hasn't even grabbed the exorcism just yet. It's not the sort of spell you can just instantly use and get a kill. You know, it's not a Void Spirit with an Astral Step. It does require a little bit of setup, particularly if Morphling can clear the waves with the waveform. So the push wouldn't be that successful without maybe a +1 in that mid lane. Ace Rune grabbed by Thompson, so we healed up a little bit. Actually, bottom lane, the dive's coming in on Xavius. Zephyr doesn't quite have enough damage. Now the call is over onto Cuckoo, but Cuckoo's still just sustaining in the middle of this fight here behind the tier 1. Meanwhile, the creeps are pushing with the catapult wave, so good damage. Xavius salving up, still trying to get their way back to this tower. Catapult wave is glyphed. They're trying to keep it alive. They really want this push to continue. But Force will move in and make sure that that catapult does die. They're chasing again over onto Force, but it's Zephyr who's underneath the tower. Heals are coming out. Exo's actually here. Lelouch. Zephyr does look like he's going to go down. He will be the first blood. Cuckoo gets to TP away, but with this exorcism popped in the top lane, it might not be the side of Polaris that are losing the first tower. Instead, it could be T1 losing this top lane tower about 8 minutes in. No catapult. Actually, bottom lane, we're diving in underneath the tower. Natsumi does TP himself away. That was the tombstone used, so there is an opposing push coming. Tombstone only has 6 seconds left, so not too long. We'll clear this creep wave. Claritying up. But that was the tower to fall in the top lane to the Exo. Cuckoo's still not level 6 either. No Reaper online. While this was happening, Thompson did get a bit of space mid. Catch up. Refill of the bottle there from Zephyr. And he'll be just fine. Ana working towards... Oh, is this... We're looking at Echo Saber. Echo Saber into BKB. Wants to hit twice. And a little bit of mana regen as well. Isn't bad. Lelouch going for the Yule Scepter. Scarith Mage working into the mana boots when he gets a chance. And they scout out this stack actually. Thompson, he wants it. He just goes straight in, gets a couple of neutral items straight off the bat and a Possessed Mask. He might actually be able to take those creeps. Zephyr's holding this high ground. But he doesn't know he's actually surrounded. 3 moving in. They want to keep these stacks alive. It's actually 4 here. Silence is onto Thompson. He did get the shift off. There's a waveform away. Whitemon's in the middle of it as well. But Zephyr comes around behind. There's a Reaper. And the Primal Beast goes down. 1 stack over to Cuckoo. Zephyr walking it away. Does actually manage to get out. And Thompson comes through with the damage. Waveform onto this Death Prophet. And it's 2 dead. Now they just walk into the Ancients. I'll clean up the stack. There's 4 here. And Polaris came over with 4 members to defend this Ancient stack. And not only do they lose the fight, but they lose the creeps as well. Thompson, he's not done. He'll clean up the large camp on top of it. So, great series of events there for T1. Cuckoo has the Urn of Shadows. I wonder if he's building towards the Spirit Vessel. We'll have to wait and see. Force has the Vanguard online, looking to get into the Blink. He's only got 300 gold in the bank, so that will still be a while. Natsumi has gone triple Wraith Bands, working into the Tread. So wants to have that good value stats, particularly once he hits the 25-minute mark. They will double in efficiency. And good stats, of course, for the clone, for the Tempest double. Exo is once again online. The Lelouch could look to move to bottom lane or mid. Hook up with his team to get something done. I think they want to wait for some level 6s though. Yao, only 4, wants to have that Pulverize to lock someone down. Rune will be bottom, bottled up by Lelouch to regen. Cuckoo, Reaper cooling down very, very soon. Only another 14 seconds. And you always want to get that first stack with the first Reaper. This starts propelling you forward as the Necrophos in a game. And you miss that first Reaper and you just don't feel so good about yourself. Zephyr's here. He's got 6. Oh, if he finds Xavius, I think that's a dead Clockwork. No level 6 yet on Xavius. They're going to see him. They get the vision. Underneath the creeps a little bit there. Hook actually goes over on the Arcane. They want the kill on Natsumi. And then with the Tempest double being popped as well, they'll say thank you so much for the gold. The Arc Warden does get taken out. Zephyr, he didn't just have eyes on the support, he wanted the core. And with Ana dropping the level 2's Tombstone, level 4 in Decay, there was no way they were living. And big timing for Ana on this Undying. He's level 10, getting the plus 60 Decay damage. That has enabled him to just farm a lot better. Mid lane, Topson has been caught by the Silence. Did get the attribute shift off. He will have a waveform. He gets away from the Crypt Swarm. The last one wasn't quite enough. And oh, very cute comes out. Dazzle's there with the heals. He will morph down and be healed up by Dazzle. Louch has an Exo and a regen. Look at this Topson. He's backing, clearing the wave. Top lane. Cuckoo is in a little bit of trouble. The Spark Wraiths are chasing through. Force has a call and a Culling Blade. The mana is starting to be a little bit low on Necrophos. Primal Beast comes through as well with the trample, and Cuckoo will fall to the Culling Blade. Mid lane, action's continuing. TP coming back in. They're starting to set up onto Topson. Gets the slow. Zephyr and Whitemon are off to the side. 4 levels in Battery Assault now, so that's a really strong point for Zephyr. Oh, they might find Yao here. Blockwork is actually a quote-unquote counter to the Primal Beast. A quote-unquote counter to the Primal Beast due to the power cogs. It just stops him from moving, and the trample damage only goes off if he's moving. So, just makes a little bit of a difference when you can't you get on that Primal Beast, you can't do the damage. Trample will not work inside the cogs. So, this is a nice little interaction there for Zephyr on the Clockwork. They're hunting. Trying to find, although they turned back, they'd find the mid onto Axe, but they've realized this isn't the place they want to be. TP's out immediately from Zephyr. Will he get there in time? He does. Oh, the burst from that Mystic Flare was coming through so quickly. It was not quite enough though. Tempest double is used, will expire. And there's not an objective to take in this top lane, and that was the exorcism used from the Louch, so no tower claimed there. These big ultis, a bit like the side. You know, you want to get a stack from that side. Same with Exo. You want to take a tower with every time that you pop that Exo early game. But the mid tier 1 and the bottom tier 1 for T1 are still standing firm. Meanwhile, I guess it's similar for side of Polaris, but with Exo down, they might just take it as a bit of a go signal, try and get this tier 1. It's only 346 health. Zephyr will scout out Natsumi, moving to this top lane. Going in for the Maelstrom, it would appear so. Let's just check if it's the Javelin coming across. So Maelstrom coming out soon for Natsumi. Nice little D-Wood on this bottom lane from Whitemon. He chucked down his own vision, and TP's out back to mid. Scans are there. Smoke coming in. Is this a Blink Dagger? Yep, Force has the Blink. So this will be a Blink reveal. They're using the smoke. They want to get Mystic Flare and Blink combined together. That should be a kill. They'd love to catch Ana on this Undying, but they're looking further north. Morphling. Here's a target. Has an Invis rune though. Zephyr comes out. Silence, call. But oh, the Mystic Flare actually misses. The call wasn't there fast enough, and it's actually Force that gets turned around on. And as an axe, you get the reveal on that Blink Dagger, level 3 call. Certainly not what you want there. The plan was very simple. Call and flare, but the Invis rune of Topson. Just strolling top lane with the Invis. I mean, it would have popped pretty immediately if he just come and farmed a creep, but just scouted out that smoke and Zephyr was able to hook across. Lancer Pursuit on the Arc Warden. Extra mana is pretty valuable on the Arc Warden early. You know, he's going to be casting a lot of spells. But that damage from hitting from behind when someone's trying to run away from that flux does make a bit of a difference as well. EU has the pig pole. So he's a beast or is he pig? Who knows? The Louch, Arcane Ring, getting a little bit extra mana regen. Force has the Tumbler's Toy. Actually pretty decent for just a little bit extra catch. So you're not quite in range for the Blink Dagger. Tumbler's Toy forward and you can get that a little bit closer. Just taking this little stack here. Xavius has the Seeds of Serenity. Pretty decent on Scarith Mage. Extra 100 HP. Does just make you that little bit tankier. Zephyr has the Fairy String. Oh, this is the dream item. This is the dream item for the Clockwork. Reduce that cooldown and just increase the magic burst that you have early on. Bottom lane, Ana is playing in the trees. Has the Echo Soul Ring. Working into the BKB now. You see the top 3 cores of T1 are in the net worth lead. Middle lane, Yules over onto Kuki. He is trying to heal through the Ghost Shroud. White one's there as well. There's a turnaround Reaper. It isn't enough to get the kill, but with the Tombstone drop down, Lalouch, he is going to fall with Tier 1 Ana here, pumping him down with the DKs. And every rotation that Polaris try to make just gets countered. Kukui doesn't get the stack, but it wasn't enough. You know that it was enough just to keep himself alive. That 1.5 seconds of stun did enough to let his team turn around. Actually, they're hunting. Zephyr's here. He has the battery assault. Pig Pole gives him that extra movement speed. Thompson turns into the Primal Beast himself and runs on through with the trample and gets some of your own medicine, Primal Beast. Louch has the Yules, wants to work towards that BKB. Has to have a BKB if he wants to fight up against Ana. If those decays are hitting and the zombies are going to work with the Tombstone, you won't be long for this world. Whether you be a death prophet or a life prophet, it won't make a difference. Maelstrom complete on Natsumi, so we'll continue to farm up a little quicker on this Arcwood. But mid lane, Thompson trying to get the last hit. Oh, will he actually deny? No, deny doesn't come out from the clone. And Thompson will grab it. Hook work. Bottom. Tries to go in. Zephyr, he's still alive actually. Trying to get the last little bit of damage onto Xavius. I was confused for a moment where that hook shot came from. I heard the noise and I'm like, he's not here with his team. He's got to be somewhere else. He was just feeling pretty good, Zephyr. Okay. Diving behind the tier 2. Trying to get a little juicy kill on a Scarith Mage. Fortunately, his team was in the area to assist. Thompson, Dragonlance, Yasha moving into the Manta. And the beauty of this draft from T1 is that the Undying, although it can win you the game, you're still sitting on a Morphling. BKB actually ready on Ana, going into the Blink and the Shard soon after. The Undying can just win you the game, but if it doesn't, you've got Thompson on the Morphling as the insurance policy. 4-man smoke now from Polaris. Exo is online, just looking for any new items. I don't think they have any item timers right now that they're trying to make advantage of. They just feel like this game is slowly slipping away. 6k lead now to T1. It's top lane. Ana is here. He has a BKB. Find the call. Over onto Zephyr, but that's not really the kill they wanted. Culling Blade will come out. How many is that now for the axe? It is 2. So a little bit extra armor. Bottom lane. Trying to find the catch on Thompson, but he will just walk it away. EU's not quite here fast enough with the Onslaught catch Pulverize. That increased armor that Force will be getting this game from the Culling Blades. It's at 3 armor at the moment, but as that improves, it will help him against the Morphling with the physical damage coming through later on in the game. But apart from that, it's really not going to do too much against the Necro. Into the Roche Pit. Are we heading? They scouted out. What are they thinking? Did they think that maybe Polaris were in there? Maybe that was the thought, that Polaris were in the pit. Hiding in the trees. Does TP away. Dazzle. Sorry, not Dazzle. Wrong team. Axe. Force was up there. Now the smoke comes out again. Oh, actually didn't quite go into the Louch. Got instantly dispelled. Thompson was there, and now into the pit they go. They want to fight here. They have the BKB. right in. They catch the two-man call with the follow-up. Coming through, Onslaught and the Pulverize. Over onto this Ana, Undying. He gets off the spells. There it is. Tombstone's down in the middle of the fight. Exo is running with the two-man Spirit Siphon, but he doesn't quite have enough. EL's still in the middle of the fight. Reaper comes through and cleans up. It's 3 dead on Polaris. They tried to get the burst over onto Ana, but they didn't quite have enough. The BKB came out with the Shallow Grave, and the Flesh Golem, given that extra strength, Roche will fall. And Thompson takes the Aegis, and that's a disaster now for Polaris. They took the fight, they used Exo, they're down for another 110 seconds. They can't really make any moves until that's up again, but they're going to be cowering for the time being. Now, we did see this yesterday. Thompson, Morphling did get an Aegis quite early. Very similar timing, actually, to this game. And just died twice in the opposing triangle. And the game sort of swung around for Talon after that point. We'll have to see if that happens again today. He's playing a little bit safer with his positioning. EU does Onslaught away.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Glyph for the mid tower. They don't want to give it up. Flare coming across. Intimidation factor on Polaris. Showing the Clockwork is aware they're there and looking for a hook in. But it's quite possible this bottom tower just dies now to Thompson. With the Aegis, they really don't want to commit on him. Dazzle is sitting behind Whitemon with the Force Staff as well. Very, very important, because the Grave isn't going to be enough this game with the Axe. He needs to have some other ways to save his team, and the Force Staff is one of those ways he can do it. Ace Rune bottom. Probably will be saved for Thompson with that bottle. Shard is now ready on Ana. Tatsumi has the full Glipnir, so a little bit extra control. Will this Arc Warden be able to pump out the damage? BKB very close for Axe. Only what? Yeah, 1200 gold away of the BKB for Force. Xavier's working on a Force Staff as well. Cuckoo is likely to siege. Of course, doesn't pop on the clone. Probably just might try and get the damage here. But there's a movement coming around. Smoke is here from T1. They do decide to cut back. The members of Polaris are just hiding up in the trees. Very, very deep. If one gets caught, the other one will just TP away. It's the buddy alarm system. Or maybe they want to try and get a catch. Anyone sitting in that top lane. They do have the burst. They can catch Thompson before the attribute shift gets off. He will die. Zephyr working on the Wraith Pact. That extra damage mitigation. Louch has the BKB. And also the Eye of the Vizier, so extra cast range on the Crypt Swarm and the Silence. Also, the Spirit Siphon is actually the most important one in that extra cast range to keep those Spirit Siphons sucking in the middle of the fight. TPs do now come out from the top lane. Force is still around. He has a TP of his own. Actually, they're looking. Maybe it's Zephyr. Does he just try? Oh, he was sensing it. Thought he might have just done a blind hook there for a second. But back around, they know maybe Clockwork is top. And could look for a catch in this mid lane. The T1, they're holding this high ground. Ana, no additional item just yet. Cuckoo has all the survivability. Force Staff, Foot of Defiance, Spirit Vessel. Looking for a Yule Scepter as well. He understands his job in this fight is just to stay alive. Stay alive, keep pumping out those heals. They've caught the clone. Will go down. Plus 240 gold, and the tier 2 will fall soon after. Is this just onto the high ground? Maybe. They're a little unsure. So the full 5-man of Polaris is still up, so they have to respect that. The combo they have is pretty devastating if they can find a catch. Thompson, no, he just straight up onto the high ground. Still have the Aegis for another 53 seconds. Tombstone is committed. I want to try and hit it down. Xavius is trying to hit it. Is there Soul Rip that can come onto this Tombstone? Sort of baiting it a little bit as the zombies are building up. He goes. Thompson, but he gets called with the follow-up. There is the Grave, but Culling Blade comes through. That's the first life. He's respawning. The Tombstone is still alive. And that's the Skyreth Mage ulti used. Do they want to keep committing with both teams? We'll just move back. I don't think Louch got the gold on that tombstone.
Dire's bottom tower.
I don't think he actually got it. I think it just expired momentarily before that last right click came through. So T1 happy with that. Won't continue to push after the Aegis is claimed. Yao, he's not going for a BKB, so I'm a little concerned about this Primal Beast being able to scale and get stuff done in the fights, have an impact. Going to have a Glimmer Cape. Wants to be a little bit more of a support. I mean, yeah, he is a POS 5, but still, I think he just needs a BKB so he can go in, pulverize, do the trample, do the thing, you know, do the Primal Beast, be that disruption. If he goes into the middle of the fight and just gets controlled, he's not really being that chaos that Polaris need in the middle of the fight. Blink now ready on Ana. Will be made into a strength blink, overwhelming blink at some point, I would assume, but not just yet. Tatsumi, this may be a long one. You might need to buckle your seatbelts with this Arc Warden moving around, pushing out the lanes. I mean, this is the real one this time, but with this clone being able to force out lanes, it might be a while until T1 can make an assault, and by then, maybe Polaris will have the farm. 9k gold lead hasn't really changed. It is leveling out. The bleeding has been stilted.
Dire's structures are fortified. Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Claiming some vision, so both teams sort of swapping sides of the map at the moment. This tier 1 needs to die for Polaris. It's just maintaining too much of the map at the moment. Are T1 willing to give it up? I think they are. Surprising, actually, considering the position in the game. I would have thought they would take that as an opportunity to fight Polaris outside the base. Skadi on Morphling. Ana's got the blink. They seem like they have a pretty strong timing. Yeah, they are 8k, 9k gold ahead. Whoop, comes through. We'll try and catch over to a Yao, and you see that trample is pretty hard. He has to walk all the way around the edge to try and get any damage off, but Zephyr, full HP with the Dazzle heal. So you can see Yao is well aware of the trample damage. He was sort of skirting right around the edge of the cogs and would occasionally get a proc off, but it's very hard to get that trample damage happening inside those cogs. Natsumi is the top of his net worth for his team. 3k behind Thompson, but even with Ana at the moment, has the blink and the Ether. Wants to actually be somewhat of a hybrid. Bit of a hybrid. Jumping in. Thompson doesn't quite find Force. He was going for the call. That may have been a kill if he got the waveform morph off with the call. Axe would have been locked down and taken a lot of damage without actually getting the call off himself. Get that bonus armor. Now, without the boots of travel, Natsumi has to be out deep on the map to get the clone this far. And normally you see the clone just TP'd out. Actually, Ana has to pop the BKB to the clone of Natsumi. This is positive signs for Polaris right now. With the clone just completely sent him packing, and really, he hasn't got that many items. It's just the Glipnir and the Blink. And that was enough to send Ana running home. Will be the Lotus Orb. So he's identified the Flux. The Flux is an issue. Lotus Orb needs to come out. He's queued that up immediately after that encounter. Can't continue to have issues like that against this clone of the Arc Warden. Oh yeah, has the Ogre Seal Totem, so a little bit extra mobility, almost a double onslaught really. Those two spells, very, very similar. Both will go through trees and over cliffs, so two mobility spells that deal damage there for the Primal Beast. A little bit extra strength, he's almost 2000 HP. Has the Rock Throw as well. To say the Rock Throw has been a little bit underwhelming in a lot of the cases I've seen it. That doesn't mean it can't be good. You know, it is still stun. Hook through, over onto Xavius. Hog back towards his team. Ana blinks in, pops the ultimate, and Yeah, that will be the catch on Scarith Mage. And remember, the Yana ulti with the shard is on reduced cooldown. So we're ready again in 80. And into the Roche pit they go, stacking up the zombies. You can see him on top of Roshan. He's saying, get off me, these little boys. I think, will there be a contest? No Scarith Mage for 25. Blinking in. That's the clone. Will die. Doesn't get the deny or the last hit on the Aegis. So Thompson, again with the Aegis and the shard. Where did the shard go to? Looks like Thompson did grab the shard as well. So he took all the lollies from that Aegis. I mean, very important to be able to get the attribute shift while stunned, but also just the increase to agility and strength makes him a bit stronger as well. So pulverize as a stun, you can get that attribute shift off. But apart from that, I'm pretty sure it means literally stun, not just taunt. I could be wrong about that. I think it means stun, not taunt. So the axe call, theoretically, as long as the tooltip is accurate, would mean that you can't get it off, even with the shard. Zephyr. See if there's anyone else around with the clone, but see Natsumi starting to put pressure on the towers. This is still a half duration clone. The tower is going to take damage here with the catapult wave. It's starting to be a real issue for the side of T1. In fact, now they've got the boots of travel. Natsumi went back for it. Boots of travel are online, so they can just move around the map and sort of rat T1. But Thompson, he's not ratting, he's just barreling down mid lane with the Satanic Paladin Sword. He's huge, 22k net worth. It's still only 10k, so it's just ticked up from 9 to 10 there. So Polaris, despite being down in terms of map positioning and in gold, they have maintained to keep their farm reasonably healthy. It hasn't got out of control. We haven't blown out to a 20k deficit at this point. You can see it sort of grew and grew, but has sort of leveled in the last 10 to 15 minutes. Louch has the completed Shiva's Guard. Force Staff on Xavius. Force has the Force Staff and the BKB as well. I find a catch. And get Ana. There it is. The follow-up. The damage will be enough. The Mystic's Flare. There it is. With the Culling Blade. It's enough. I think the Rock Throw came through as well, just for good measure. And so there's the combo. That's how simple it is. Just Axe Call into Mystic Flare. That's a level 2 Mystic Flare. Additional 400 damage. That's it. That's how you do it. And this Undying is dead. So Ana will be working towards the Tombstone of Death talent, I would think, as well as the Reincarnation gains. 300 second Reincarnation cooldown. Natsumi, they have to find a way to get on top of this Arc Warden. If they don't, he's going to deal too much damage. He's getting a lot of golds through now. Admittedly, he's a long way behind Thompson, but he is starting to stretch ahead of Ana, and will continue to do so with the Boots of Travel on the clone. Level 20 on Thompson takes waveform attacks target. Almost certainly, that is the one you would want to have. Still no Octarine Core on Natsumi. Force moving down. It's got the Ceremonial Robe as well, so the additional status resistance and magic resistance reduction might even just make the difference to get the pick off with the culling. Even if Dazzle's around, can they save? They have 4 staffs, so if they are there as a team, that combo doesn't work. The Mystic Flare comes out, but the 4 staff is applied and the damage won't come through. Yeah, you might be 4-staffing your member further towards Polaris, but they will have a chance to live, at least momentarily. Aegis expiring in 54 seconds. And Thompson straight onto the high ground. Will get actually just immediately taunted, and down goes the Aegis. Exorcism pop. There's a Tombstone on the high ground. They're trying to deal the damage. Natsumi Clone does die, but there's the Wraith Pack that's being sent in. Try and kill it off they will. The tier 3 dies at the cost of an Aegis and an Exorcism from Polaris. Both teams very tentative to commit. You know, Polaris had no interest in chasing right then. T1, they wanted to get back and reset. Even with the tombstone being used and the flesh golem expiring, smoke back up. Ana will certainly not be as strong as he possibly can be. Lotus Orb is available. Have a jetpack. I think still this is one of the memeiest upgrades in the game. I play a Clockwork. I'm a Clockwork player, and I think this is so memey. The jetpack. Smokes from both teams though. Polaris trying to get some idea of where they're at. There is a ward. Oh, catches him. And the follow-up with the damage. Mystic Flare. There's the Culling Blade. It's enough. And that's another culled armor. More armor for Axe. Catching. 4-staff away. He's actually 4-staff up to the high ground. Someone give him another one. Doesn't want to be stuck up there. And in goes Thompson. With the adaptive strike. This is like... Look at this Natsumi clone. It's getting very, very bold the way he's moving forward. They will feed a bit of gold over. But you can imagine getting the overwhelming blink. Maybe if he gets a Daedalus or a Bloodthorn even. Trying to find a Yao. He has not got... He's not got a BKB or a blink, but a TP he does. Meanwhile, Natsumi with the clone, he's just getting the damage in with the double catapult wave. You know, think about the amount of time T1 has spent trying to get this tier 3 down here, and their tier 3s might just fall to an Arc Warden just chipping away. Actually, what talents is he going for? The Flux Duration and the Flux Cast Range. Yeah, so not going for the right-clicking build with the Magnetic Field Attack Speed. Or the health. Actually, Long Hook catches in. There is a 4-staff available. Cog's back. Xavius, he wants to get this D-Ward. He will do it, then 4-staff away. But there's no way he's getting out of this with the Tombstone on the high ground. They really commit hard to get that kill. With these two teams fighting for a position in the grand finals of the SEA qualifiers. If you're just joining today, welcome to the stream. Welcome on in. And there is a guarantee for all the teams involved today in the finals. They will at least advance to the last chance qualifiers. So all these teams will progress in some manner, but of course you want to just get that direct qualification. And with the illusions chipping down the tower, just doing a little bit of damage. Sending out, they find Cuckoo, Lotus Orb as well. Lotus Orbs on Lotus Orbs this game. There will be a lot of Lotus Orbs just to get rid of the Flux, get rid of the Glipnirs, get rid of the Silencers. It's a very good Lotus Orb game. The illusion shows top. They know they have to deal with it. This is the state they're in at the moment. You cannot leave this illusion to push the waves because the towers will fall eventually. For T1 if they don't deal with this pesky Arc Warden. Mr. Gambit, that's okay. Glad to have you here and I hope you enjoyed the cast. Hex being worked on from Lelouch. So that getting that... Well, that could be scary on Thompson, really on any of the heroes of T1. Get that instant Hex out. Just another way to initiate. It isn't just the axe that has to find the catch that way. There is a couple of ways you can get in. 33k gold on Thompson. He's really carrying his team though, because the next two highest are the cause of Polaris. There's a lot on Thompson's back here. He's pretty much fully stacked. He's going to work towards a Daedalus, probably then the Aghanims upgrade after that. You know, he's starting to get to the point where he's going to be fully slotted, maybe even a Moon Shard, get a little bit of additional attack speed. Aegis on to Thompson. Cheese over to Ana, and also the Refresher Shard. So we could have double Tombstone, Fresh Golem ready to go again And Tombstone on death is getting pretty close. Thompson just trying to bait out some spells. Is the haste rune just runs in. No fear at all. Of course, the Satanic does dispel. Basic dispel. So another way to remove the Gleipnir, remove the Flux, Battle Hunger, Silence. So many little abilities that are coming out from Polaris that a basic dispel does get rid of. Concussive Shot, Arcane Seal, Ancient Seal. Ancient Seal, Arcane Bolt. Gleipnir. Instant dispel from the Lotus Orb. This is like tap dance. This is like a ballet at the moment. It's a night at the opera. These two teams are just feeling each other out constantly. Trying to just bait in them to go a little too far and then catch them out. So many Spark Rays up on the high ground. There's no way they can really push in. There's Thompson. He just goes straight in. We'll pop all the Spark Rays. There is the damage, but he will not actually go down. Hookwork coming through onto the left. We'll get off the BKB, but Arna's in there with the BKB and the Flesh Golem. But no one's actually dead just yet. They go back to tier 3. Gleipnir coming out once again onto the Silence, over onto Thompson. Still holding on to the Aegis. Actually switched out an item. What's it coming? Is that the Daedalus freshly delivered? It is. He's got a Daedalus. Thompson, he's going to hit hard now. Natsumi coming in stun. Trying to be followed up on Meow, but the Manta dodge actually catch it. But there's a 3-man hook coming in, following up with the cogs. They're all trapped in. Can they do the damage? Natsumi, though, he's turning around with the clone. Fear away over onto Thompson. There's a Gleipnir onto the back line. Dazzle and Cuckoo are trapped on the high ground. Axe buying back for this fight. The Thompson, Aegis, 2 minutes 47, still standing tall. They move to the top lane. Middle Rax does fall. Trying to get on the Natsumi clone, they will. There's the call. Coming out onto Arna. There's a shallow grave, but he will die. The Tombstone of Death is down, though. So from the grave, there's a presence buying back Arna, trying to get back into the fight. Tombstone will go. There's a gem on the deck. Thompson, Pulverize, and the Silence. There's a Lotus Orb on top, trying to keep him healthy. Exorcism, it's still a lot of damage. The Shallow Grave is keeping him alive. Silence, Gleipnir, carrying on to 2. Can they get him away? He will respawn if he goes down here, but he's actually not just dead. Wolf Satanic, not yet. 8 seconds. Stun coming through. Another Tombstone. Arna's back arrived with the Flesh Golem. They want to try and finish this game now. Dieback on the Axe. The clone is down. Exo, it's running out. It's almost done. They still haven't killed Thompson once. Is this man even killable? And over onto this side. There's the refresher. Tombstone down. They want to keep this pressure going. They know Axe is out for another 50. It's very hard for him to be caught. Arna links in. Gets up to the decay. BKB popped as well with the Lotus Orb. We'll just keep those decays coming. Lelouch, just be careful. They don't stack up too much. Natsumi, the clone, does go down once again. Yao working on a BKB, but he's not quite there yet. And now Thompson, he says, let's just finish the game. Onto the base. Arna pops the Flesh Golem once again. It's back up. Thompson is just still living. They can't bring him down. Dazzle with the heals behind. There's the Mystic Flare coming through, but it's not enough. He's still alive, this man, with the Satanic. He heals straight back up. Natsumi with the clone in the middle of the fight. Arna, he's just hitting the towers. He doesn't care about anything else. He's getting the job done. Gleipnir comes through onto Thompson. Magnetic Field trying to stop the attacks. Hookshot through into the fountain, actually, with the jetpack away. Stun coming through. Onslaught. There's the Reaper catching through, but not enough damage. There is a buyback available on the Scarif Mage if he wants to use it. Gleipnir again coming out. And Natsumi with the clone trying to deal the damage. I'm wondering why this buyback isn't coming from the Scarif Mage. Thompson, he's still alive. They're focusing the Ancient. Stun coming through. Buyback, there it is. There's the call onto the Morphling, but he's still alive. They try to wait for the Aegis to expire. There's another 30 seconds. Not getting done. Lelouch with the BKB is trying to clear out the fight. 2 dead. On T1, the respawn is there. They're surrounding Thompson. Silence immediately with the Pulverize to finish. Cuckoo, he's trying to give him some support. It's not enough heal. And they're trying to catch now onto 2. Arna, he bought back for this. Cuckoo, he's used. He doesn't get to TP you out. That's 100 seconds without Arna. Cuckoo, he's up way to dispel. He does in a moment, but the fear is there. He doesn't actually get the Lotus Orb off. Tombstone is on the deck, is trying to slow them down, but the 200 gold will come out. Wow. Okay, so T1 unable to finish the game. As the dust settles, we had 4 buybacks. 9k gold still lead to T1. The Ancient is exposed on half HP. Important buybacks. It was Ana and the Primal Beast. In fact, there were more than that. Let's just check the buyback status so we can see the Undying, Axe, Scarith Mage, Dazzle, plus the Primal Beast all use their buybacks in that fight. In fact, let's just leave that buyback status up. That's the most important thing right now. As they charge down mid, they certainly probably can't finish the game here. They might be able to get a Rax. Thompson will certainly not want to use his buyback here. When you're 2 racks up, tier 4's down, losing 1 Rax here is not really an issue. But Polaris, they held, and now they're striking back. Glyph will come out. There is no counter glyph available, but the magnetic fields are there. Didn't throw any on the catapults. May have been a good call to do that. Spark rates building up around this tower. Lelouch has an exorcism, but he doesn't want to use it, knowing he might need it to defend in the fight. X was completed in that fight, so that was important to get those kills. We now check on what's happening in terms of the items. We have a Timeless Relic on the Axe. Super, super good. Get that additional lockdown, plus the damage from the spells. A Yao does complete the BKB, so now this 5 Primal Beast can have a very strong impact in the fight. Level 3 Pulverize as well. Was that a DD on the Latch? I might have actually seen it. I think it's a Dagon level 4. It's a Dagon level 4 on Natsumi.
Dire are scanning.
So looking to burst these heroes down. That's a lot of damage. Additional 700 magic. Cooldown 13.5 because of the cooldown reduction that he has, and they smoke up 4-man. They want to find a catch. It's now only a 6k lead to T1. This game is pretty much leveled out. As T1 tried to finish, got a little greedy, didn't get the job done. Counter smoke. Cuckoo has the heart and sustain for a long time. Zephyr the Aeon Disc. That's fine. Xavius. Remember, a lot of buybacks are used here. Axe has no buyback for his court. Same with the Scarith Mage. So a pick here is dead permanent unless you are Morphling. Natsumi does throw the clone in. It's a little bit of damage over on a Zephyr, but the Lotus Orb comes out. Clone will expire. So many rates on the ground. The spark rate. So we check the talents. 125 spark rate damage. That's a lot. And 25. Is he getting the Aghanim Scepter? Might even go forwards the Aghanim Scepter, getting the spark rates to spawn a new spark rate when one expires. I think that's certainly a pretty good item with this build, the sort of magic / control damage build. Lines being drawn out. Polaris is saying, Tsumi's saying, we gotta get out this top wave, push it in so we can actually make some movements on the map, because right now T1, as this game settles back down to get to the status quo, they are 2 racks up. There was no racks that fell for them, so the super creeps are pushing in. It's not megas because this bottom racks does stand firm, and it looks like T1, they want to do something about that now. Trickster Cloak on Ana, that extra little bit of survivability. Paladin's sword over onto Cuckoo. Zeph actually has the Witchbane for the Dispel, and Ana, he hasn't really advanced in items. Has the Shard. Yeah, he's got the Havoc Hammer, but that's really it. The neutral item. I think it's the AC he's been working on for a long time, so very close to completing that AC if we check it out. Yeah, just the Hyperstone to be completed. Under the cover of smoke. So the Glipnir hitting through the smoke from the clone. Interesting interaction just there. So as we switch back over to net worth, actually in the middle of the fight, Exo is popped. They've caught the Morphling. Shallowgrave is there, but there's an axe. Can he get the Culling Blade off? No, BKB, Satanic will be popped. Hana popping the Tombstone down in the backline with the Flesh Golem. Wants to go in, trying to get the zombies out. Thompson with the BKB. They've caught 2 inside the cogs. Can they get him down? Axe, remember, has no buyback. Lelouch, he's falling as well with the Exorcism down. He can get him back in with a buyback. 4 staff away, but following with the Blink Dagger. Ana on top of Xavius. He's no buyback either. Dazzle is dead. So now it's a 4v3. Natsumi, he's been caught. No, it is just the clone. Real hero is over to the side. Roshan is available. Ana jumps straight in with that AC now. Is that a DD? There is a DD actually on the bottom, plus a gem dropped on the deck. I'd love to maybe give this Agnum Scepter to Ana. See who they're going to give it to. I think the Aegis is going to go on Thompson. Who's the Ags going over to? The Agnum Scepter is here. Grab the cheese. So is it... It's Zephyr. They give Zephyr, I guess you want... Yeah, the overclocking. With the overclocking, wants to get a little bit more AoE control. And Natsumi clone has been found. I think T1... They do decide to take the Roche there instead of trying to finish the game. You know, the respawns will be back up on the Axe at least. Not wanting to force out the buyback. We got the multi-shot flare now. If you haven't seen the overclocking, multi-shot flare. You have all of the sort of AoE battery assault that hits everything around.
Do it with flare.
And now Thompson, he's onto the high ground. Magnetic field does come out. He has to walk in close. He will just do a tombstone. Is dropped. Ana with the flesh golem. Pops the refresher. Secondary tombstone. They want these megas. Skyrath respawning in 12. But now the tombstones are dropped. They are a little bit committed on that bottom side if they want to go for the finish. No tombstones for the time being. Tax speed inside the cogs. The battery assault affects all enemies in the range. AoE flare, and for the hook, shot stun radius and duration is increased. So really good upgrades there for this clock. You wouldn't otherwise be have the gold to get it. So 20k net worth lead now on to T1 once again. As they claim megas, the dip has gone back down. Polaris haven't been able to get it back in their favor. After that miracle team fight to save the base, they go forward. The silence, the hex. They might actually be able to catch him. There's the culling blade. There's the first life down on Thompson. They managed to do it. Zephyr, Aeon does proc, so no more protection from him. Cuckoo in the middle of the fight, healing up. And the Exo was committed. They have to go back because the Ancient, it's under threat. Polaris, you can't leave the base against these megas, and T1, they might see this as a bit of a go signal since the megas are in. Buybacks, we'll check them again. Yeah, everyone pretty much has them back up, so timers have respawned, so this is a safe push here from T1. They have a lot of lives. Ana jumping in, drops the tombstone in the flesh golem form. Xavier's trying to get the damage out with the Agnum Scepter, the double spells. Natsumi with the clone, but the throne, it's going to be under threat soon. Axe Call catches through. Onslaught with the trample damage. The BKB is popped on Ana with the cheese. They're being forced back into the base. Can they get the damage onto the throne? Thompson, he waveforms back, trying to get the right clicks. The magnetic field does stop it. He has to run to this side to get it. Xavier's throwing out arcane orbs. And throne is once again under threat. Magnetic field hex following through. There's a grave, but will they have enough? No, the Lotus Orbs will stop the initiation. And now onto the back line. Clockwork, he pops the BKB. He's going into the base. He's just trying to make some space. Zephyr pops down the Wraith Pack. The Glyph comes out. That is a dead Clockwork now. Can they get him? Glypnir catches on the whole team. T1, Thompson popping the BKB. Trying to get the damage over onto Force. Blade Mail is popped in return. There is no buyback on the Axe. Magnetic Field still holding the Ancient, but that's Aquan actually dead. He has a buyback. He'll have to get back into this one. He isn't using it right now. The Ancient, it does look like it's falling. The Mega's overwhelming. Game 1 goes to T1 over Polaris in a bit of a marathon. And we're heading to Game 2 with T1 having the advantage.